Erica Young writes here with After College Transition, and I'm committed to putting the best resources in your hands to help you equip your students to thrive in their transition out of college and beyond. One of the best things we can do for our students in this final stretch of the semester is to help them self-reflect on their experience, to look back and see where God has met them in this year and in their college experience, as well as to look ahead. So I'm going to show you two things you can do to jumpstart that self-reflection. And in the end, I'm going to give you an invitation that I don't think you'll want to pass up. I'm going to share two ways that you can help students process their transition. One is really low-hanging. If you're just looking to start up a conversation with a junior or a senior, one thing that you can ask them is, what's one thing you're nervous about and one thing you're excited about? Every year when we got our program started, we would ask students how they're feeling about the year ahead, about the transition ahead. And inevitably there was this theme. I'm nervous about this, I'm excited about this. I'm excited and nervous. I'm anxious and I'm also hopeful. I'm scared and excited. So pick up on that theme and ask questions, and that totally makes sense. Students are excited about the new thing ahead, about a future, and maybe putting to work the things that they've been studying for so many years. But they're also nervous because it's a major transition, the fear of the unknown and what's going to happen in this next phase. And so many of them don't have it figured out. None of us have it all figured out, but many of them don't have that job lined up, and they're anxious. So I encourage you, just ask a student what they're nervous about, what they're excited about. I want to teach you another thing that you can use, and this is called the continuum of preparedness. You'll notice there are 5 posters behind me, and each one of these posters represents a different thought about graduation. Starting with, wait, I'm graduating, that would be I'm in total denial, all the way to real world, here I come, bring it on, I'm totally ready. And we like to use this continuum with students to just help them reflect on how they're feeling about the process. So the question I'll ask is, how prepared do you feel to graduate? And I might frame it in terms of, if they got an email tomorrow saying graduation's been moved up to this weekend, how would they process that, and how prepared do they feel to graduate? And inevitably, you're going to have students who rush to number 5. They are so done with college, senioritis has set in big time, and they are ready to run out of the doors of college. And sometimes it's those students that I'm a little bit more worried about, because they may have reduced the transition to just, I'm ready to leave and I have a job lined up, so bring it on. Other students may not be ready at all. They may place themselves earlier on in the continuum, and some of those students are thinking about some of the emotional impact of leaving college. They may not be ready to say goodbye to this close-knit group of friends or leave the community, or maybe they're just not prepared for those loan payments that are going to come. I remember one year I had a student who was like, I think I know what I need to do to be faithful after college, but I'm just not sure I'm going to put one foot in front of the other to do the things I'm supposed to do. That's honest. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to draw out honest conversation for how students feel about preparedness. But another thing that's really important about this exercise is to help students see that the transition is multifaceted. Oftentimes, students will place themselves at a 4 or 5 if they have a job lined up, and they will feel unprepared if they don't yet know that step. It's so easy to reduce the transition out of college to a few key items necessary for graduation. Credits are in, resumes polished, I have a job, I've secured an apartment. As important as those things are, we never want to reduce it to just that checklist, because it is multifaceted. And this exercise can really help get at some of the many different facets of the transition. So I use this continuum we use it in our workshops. I've used it in large group presentations at conferences. I've used it in a senior seminar class. I also used it teaching for a gap year program last year as students were getting ready to leave this very tight-knit community of 9 months. How are they going to process leaving that community? So these are just 2 little ways that you can start to invite that self-reflection in the midst of their course of college or in that last lap. If you want to replicate this exercise in your context, I want to give you the files so that you can easily use this continuum with your students before the end of the semester. So click the link, get me your email address, and I will send you those files, and I'll be eager to know as you use them how it goes with your students.